have such a personal attachment to that, I don't know, I can't ignore that. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We are back today with the Ford Focus RS. We're gonna be talking about why in the world did I trade in my 2000 Corvette? Why in the world did I buy a Ford Focus RS? This is my second one now. And kind of really why this is my dream car, or one of my dream cars, I wanna say, and what's my true passion for these cars and why do I love them so much. We're gonna be going over all of that stuff in today's video, but to do that, let's jump in the car, let's go for a drive, and let's actually drive this thing around. And yeah, I'm excited for this. Let's jump into the video. I do wanna say I do have a new shift knob that I am gonna be putting in, just this carbon fiber on, but I'll do that later. Okay guys, jumping right into the video. First thing I want to say is that I'm actually driving this car. I don't want to keep reiterating it, but with the Corvette, I just didn't really drive it that much. I would never just want to in the middle of the day jump out and go for a quick drive. But yeah, in this, I actually want to take this for a drive. We'll get a quick little pull here. So guys, jumping right into the video, why in the world do I want to get another Ford Focus RS? It really comes down to this car has a lot of special meaning to me. This is my second one, but when I got the first one, it was my dream car. We were still on the East Coast living in Buffalo, New York, and I remember I searched far and wide to find one. I found the cheapest one I could find. It was 2.5 hours away. It had decent mileage on it for the time, especially because that was, I don't even know the year that was, but that was years ago. Had miles on it. It wasn't beat, but it wasn't the best one ever. It was pretty much the cheapest one I could find. It was a couple hours away, but I absolutely loved that car. That was one of the cars that I really felt when I bought, I actually did real modifications to and tried to I don't know, do stuff to. That was one of my first cars that I would say I was okay, cool, I'm gonna try to really get some stuff done to it. I traded in my Challenger to get that Focus, and yeah, I honestly loved it. That was the car that we took across the country when we first moved from Buffalo, New York to SoCal. That was the car. Me, my wife, our 2 dogs, and our whole caravan of people. I was driving the Veloster, and actually my wife was driving the Focus RS. And then we had the Penske truck full of all of our stuff and everything like that. We took those cars across the country. It does have a special place in my heart because that was the car that I had back in my old familiar, lifestyle back in Buffalo. And that was the first car that we took across country when it was just mind-boggling for me just to see everything. For the very first time, we were okay, cool, we're going across the country. We get to see the sights that we've never saw before. Especially driving, that was a bit crazy for me to see, especially at the time, it was just wild. And also guys, I have a whole series, I did videos on that. The videos, they're not that great because they're old now, but if you want to see what that trip was it was a crazy trip, man. We encountered a snowstorm out of nowhere, going through Oklahoma and Texas. It was all the gas stations were down, power lines were down, trees were down. It was wild. Yeah, that was a trip, and especially because it was our first maiden voyage to come to Southern California. It was just wild. But I'll have those videos linked down below if you really want to see truly all the stuff that we went through just to make it out here. It was wild. But yeah, after doing all of that, and then the first cars that we were driving here in Southern California was the Focus RS. I don't know how to explain it. It was so different because it was just this is the car that I had back in my hometown, and then now I'm driving this car out inside a completely different area, a completely new scenery and everything like that. So it does have a special place in my heart just because of that, because it was the car I felt I truly became a adult, if that makes sense, where it was all right, there's no more training wheels, you are by yourself, you have to figure it out completely by yourself. And something about that, it kind of especially in my mind, it made me become more bonded with that car, because a lot of those times I remember especially when my wife with her job, we had to drive around, try to find different places where her job was at. I remember us doing scouting, quote unquote scouting missions with the focus of just being like, okay, cool. I don't know exactly where this place is. We're gonna just drive around and like figure it out. And I was just driving that car. So that was really cool. So I chucked through a corner. Wow. Wow. Oh my gosh. Man, this car is fun, dude. This car is like really fun. But yeah, so long story short, this car has a special place in my heart because of that. I did eventually sell my other Focus when we moved here. I did wind up getting the Jeep Wrangler. At the time, that was my third Jeep Wrangler. So I do love Jeep Wranglers as well. At the time, it made sense because of, we were like, okay, cool. We want to do more traveling, like long distance travel. And also I wanted to get back into off-roading and like explore all the great things that are out here in Southern California, which I still do. So if you are interested in any of this type of content, we do a lot of car content, off-roading content, adventuring, and like travel trailers with dirt bikes and everything like that. So subscribe for more if you're interested in any of this type of content, because I love all these different things. And at the time it made sense because in our apartment we only had 2 parking spots, so I needed to get rid of, you know, the Focus in order to get the Wrangler, because my wife had her car still, the Veloster. So I did wind up eventually selling the Focus RS to get the Jeep Wrangler, and that Jeep Wrangler was great. I did videos with that. We traveled across the country, went to Buffalo with that. I think we went to Florida. Yeah, we went to Florida with that as well. Great time. But as time passed on, as you guys know, I had the Corvette on the channel. It was a great car. I'm not gonna bash it. I liked it a lot, but it wasn't like my dream car. It wasn't like a car that I was like, I really, really am passionate about this. It was a car that I was like, yeah, it's a good car. It's a really good car. But it wasn't like anything that I was like, yeah, I 100% like wanted it and like needed it. But one of the other things though, I do think though that I really like about this car in particular is the fact that, yes, it is a quick car, it's a fun car. It's to me, I'm like, this is just like fun because, yeah, it's a manual car that definitely makes it a lot more fun. And I know people are like, oh, it's not always manual. I mean, okay, but I'm gonna be real with you. Yeah, that is a big part of it. It is a big part of it, just the fact that it is a stick car. Like, it is just more fun because you can shift gears. It feels like I'm doing something. The good thing about this car though, it's not just a quick car, like a fast car in a straight line. There's more applications for this car. If you are looking for like a car that can pretty much do everything that you want it to do, like be like a fun car that you can daily drive, this is a great daily driver. Like I said, I drove it across the country. We had our 2 dogs in the back seats and we drove it across the country. It was a great car to drive on the daily basis. Even though I have the truck, we've been driving this car here and there. We went to get groceries, great storage space. I mean, at the end of the day, it still is like a Ford Focus, so it makes a great daily driver. It has the all-wheel drive system, so like if you're looking for a daily driver, it can do that for you. But I do think it has other applications. You know, one of the big things is though it does have the rallying routes. So I do feel like this car is a little bit more adventurous. You can do more adventuring things. Like I plan to take this thing out to the dirt. I want to see like what it can do. Maybe not do any crazy like, you know, rallying stuff like that. I mean, because we got the dirt bikes and like the truck for like the dirt stuff. But I do want to just like see what the car can do in some dirt. Just have a little bit of fun. And that's like a whole nother aspect that I feel like is like a little bit more aligned with what I want to do in life versus like just have a car that's just like purely top line speed and everything like that. Now, don't get me wrong, this is not like a slow car, but I'm being totally honest. Like if you're trying to build a Focus RS to have like crazy horsepower, it's probably the wrong platform. I mean, once you get to like above like 400 plus horsepower, like you gotta be weary of the engine. You're gonna have a built engine pretty much. I mean, you want to get like 500. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you want to go, but like if that's what I wanted, I would have stayed with the Corvette. You could make that type of power more easily, if that makes sense. So yeah, if I wanted to make crazy power, I would have stayed with the Corvette. I think with here, the goal is different. I want to just enjoy this car. I still want to take this car out to the canyons and have fun. Like I said before, I was definitely quicker in the canyons with the Corvette. Out of all the cars that we've had, and I'd taken like out into the canyons out here in Southern California, we had the Veloster, had the Focus RS, my wife's Mustangs, she's had 2 of them now. I think the Corvette I was the quickest in, for sure. Like you can go the quickest, at least me. That's another Lamborghini. That was the quickest car, but that's not like my end-all goal, if that makes sense. I don't want to just be like quick in the canyons and just like only have a canyon car. I want a car that, you know, especially like as the fun car that could do different things. And I think it would be cool for the channel though to have something that can do multiple different facets of different things. Especially, you know, my channel is more, definitely is automotive lifestyle, but it still is like with the asterisk of adventuring. And I think this kind of fits that build a little bit better, if that makes sense. But yeah, guys, I just want to give you guys kind of a taste why in the world do I want another Focus RS. Like I said before, it's like one of my dream cars. And I know people throw around dream car like so much, especially with YouTube and everything like that. But like for me, it truly is like a car that I have such a personal attachment to that, I don't know, I can't ignore that. But yeah, it's a car that I really am excited for. I'm hoping you guys are excited for it too. Plan on doing a ton more stuff on the channel, modifications, adventuring, and just doing a whole bunch of stuff. So if you're interested in any of this type of content, check out the channel. But if you haven't seen the video when I did the reveal of this car, check this video out right here. This was the reveal video of this vehicle. And subscribe for more. We'll see you guys in the next one.